The Xbox side of gaming has been a little weird as of lately. On one hand, you have the very successful Game Pass subscription that's gaining traction in subscribers as more people look for a cheaper way to enjoy the latest games. But on the other hand, you have the CEO of Xbox himself going out in public and saying that he fucked up, so it's always a random chain of events regarding any Xbox news in the media. But in my opinion, the coolest thing about the Xbox right now is that they arguably have the most affordable current generation console out, being the Xbox Series S. This console sits at a retail price of $299, but you can easily find these discounted down to, close to $200 or less. In a world with rising prices on games, consoles, accessories, literally everything else, having this option of price to enjoy a console for the latest games is a great thing to have, even if you could afford something more expensive. And the real beauty of this option is that when the Series S was first announced, Xbox promised that the Series S console would pretty much have the same performance compared to the more expensive Series X console, at the cost of, obviously a disc drive and a few minor internal setbacks, so you didn't really have to worry about missing out on losing any substantial graphical capability. At least, you already know when I say at least it's about to get negative. That's what was supposed to be the case, and for the most part, outside of a few games running kind of shitty on the Series S every now and then that eventually got fixed, we pretty much had that. Except recently, a game issue in the Xbox Series S was found that questioned how games are made on the Series S console compared to higher priced counterparts. Now, this suspicion was first brought to attention by a Reddit user who explained their situation while trying to play Borderlands 3. Great game, by the way. His post shares a picture of an error message they got while trying to play the game that explains the console running out of video memory and prompting them to lower the graphics or close outside applications, to which began a discussion of how many users experience the same thing with this game and many more. Now let's talk numbers. The Xbox Series S console boasts a whopping 10 gigabytes of video memory, while the Xbox Series X console is included with 16 gigabytes instead. A pretty notable difference in RAM. I mean, optimization is pretty much a necessity for almost any game that runs on the Series S, and in this case, Borderlands 3. So it's pretty obvious that more than likely, on the side of the developers team of Borderlands 3, they didn't do a good job optimizing this game's memory usage for this console specifically, because it was brought to attention by another Reddit user in the same post that the game runs perfectly fine on the Series X console. So it shows that there's developers out there who just don't take into account the changes needed for certain games to run on the more limited hardware of the Series S. And it begs the overall question of how many more games will and are currently suffering from the same fate. Now, there is another argument online that another explanation for this problem is that the game engine is misinterpreting the error code back from the API. So this whole Borderlands issue may not 100% be what we think it is, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is, based on how the game runs on the Xbox Series X console. Either way, it does highlight an issue within the Xbox Series S that needs to be noted by game developers from here on out. They just gotta avoid being lazy on behalf of Xbox games and thinking that the two consoles are the exact same, so that we don't have another issue of optimization problems. So what do you guys think about this situation, man? Feel free to leave a comment down below. And as always, leave a like on the video, subscribe, check out the Patreon if you're interested, and I'll see you on the next one.